Hey guys, how you doing? It's Kevtech here bringing another video on information technology. I hope you're having a good day. Happy Sunday, and today I want to go over troubleshooting tickets. So basically, I created a bunch of tickets, and these tickets are real. These are not real. These are not fake tickets. These are tickets that I see on a day-to-day basis, and obviously, I didn't put any names or anything on them. But basically, I'm going to go over how to respond to tickets and how to close them and how to do them, if that makes sense. So this is for entry-level tech, so Helpdesk, desktop support, tech support, IT support. If you're new to my channel, I do CompTIA videos, I do desktop support, IT videos, technical support videos, I do IT interviews as well, and I go live here and there. So as always, rate, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell down below. That way you know when I go live, because I usually go live with a bunch of people from IT and a bunch of people that have YouTube channels as well, and a bunch of people that are professional technicians and that work in IT. So just hit the notification button, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. All right, let's get right into this. So I'm gonna go into my computer screen. I'm gonna share my screen with you, obviously, so let's see what we have here. I'm still waking up. I'm a little beat up. Have my coffee. So I created a bunch of tickets. So we're gonna go to the Helpdesk, Kevtech, and I'm gonna show you how I knock out all these tickets. All right, so first ticket is calendar access. I'm a new admin assistant that started today. I need calendar and contact access to Kevin's calendar. I need to scan business cards and import them to his contacts. Please provide me access as soon as possible. So in order to do this, I'm gonna move my screen over here to the lower. So we're gonna pretend that that this is a regular computer. Obviously, it's a server, but it has Outlook on it. So we're gonna pretend that this person needs calendar rights, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. So basically, they want calendar rights. They also see this is admin today start account contact as well. So we're gonna give them delegation access. So what does that mean as delegation access? You're about to see right now. So you have to go into Outlook. You have to right click on properties, and you have to give them delegation access. So obviously, before you do any of this, because this is an email and this is a ticket, you will email the person. So like it says Kevin's calendar, so we know it's Kevin. So what we do is we would email Kevin. So Kevin is the person that's you're giving access to someone else. So you're gonna be able to see their calendar. They're gonna be able to see their contacts. So you don't want to just give access on the fly, if that makes sense. So you basically want Kevin's approval. So you email Kevin, and then Kevin says, okay, approve. It's okay to give her access. It's okay, approve. And then after you do that, then you actually take action. And then when you do all that, it should be good. So you always need to get approval for these things. You don't just give people access to someone's calendar or someone's contact. We don't do that. If that makes sense. And just bear with me. I'm opening my server right now. And it is open. All right. So let's just pretend. I know this is a server. So let's just pretend that this is a regular Windows 10 machine, right? Whatever, whatever computer, 7 or 10, whatever. So obviously when you do permissioning or permissions, you always want to get approval. So like I said, you get approval from the appropriate person. Since it's Kevin needs to approve. He's like, all right, I approve. So then you do delegation access. So what do? You go into File. You go into Account Settings. And you go into Delegation access. All right? It's going to be a little slow. And then you add the person there. And you add them in. And that's it. It's just for the sake of this video. We'll add somebody else. So who's on there right now? Jason. Just to show you what it does, to add, okay. So then we'll give them calendar access and contact access. So they only want contact access and calendar. We don't want to give them access to that. So they only have contact and calendar. You hit okay, and you hit okay. And that's it. That's how you would do it. That's how you would do ticket number 1. So what you do is you grab the approval email from Kevin. You attach it to this ticket. So you go into It's like you could put notes on it too. It's like approval by Kevin. Please see attach, and then you put the attachment right here. So you basically hit browse, and then you put the attachment, and that's it. That's it. And then close the ticket. So that's ticket number 1. That's it. We're done with ticket number 1. All right. Ticket number 2. I'm working from home starting next Monday. Can I get a monitor screen to use for my laptop? So this is a different issue. So somebody wants a monitor. So I know that sounds like an easy ticket, but it's not. It gets a little complicated. Trust me. So what does that mean? So they want a monitor so they can use as a second screen. So in this environment, depending on your company, you have a team called procurement. And basically, they're in charge of ordering stuff for you. So they'll order the monitors, they'll order the computers, they'll order the laptops, or the company itself. They have Best Buy, and they'll just go and buy it on their own, or they'll go on eBay or Amazon, buy it on their own, or you gotta get approval for it, obviously. So you always gotta get approval when it's a hardware equipment. So whoever requested this is reported by Kevin Apollinario. So you email their manager, you get approval from their manager, and then you forward the email to the procurement team if there's a procurement team. Otherwise, you will order it for them. If you're in charge of ordering stuff, then you will order it for them. So Helpdesk IT support, we're not in charge of that. Usually it's another team or another person that does all that. So you forward over the email to them, and then they order it, and then we close the ticket after that. So let's just say that we did all that. We emailed the person. We told them that this person wants a monitor, and that the order is already set up, and they'll have the monitor by next week. So we can just close the ticket and put notes on it. So monitor has been ordered. Then obviously if it's a email going back and forth, you attach the email right here. Always attach an email to all these tickets you close. I know some people are going to say no. Some people are going to say, oh, you got approval by the director or by the manager. You just put it on the notes. I don't agree with that. I think you should cover yourself at all times, just in case you don't want to get in trouble. So monitor has been ordered, approval. Monitor has been ordered, approval, and attach. Yeah, private note. Then you close the ticket. All right, file restore. Next ticket. I actually deleted a file from the shared drive. Can you restore it? So usually when you have shared drive permissioning, I'm gonna get out of this. In case nobody knows, or in case people do know. So say for example, you put a file on the share. This is a shared drive, by the way, the home directory. How do you know it's a shared drive? You right click on it, hit properties, you hit share, and it's a network shared drive. So let's just pretend that this is the shared drive, right? I'm just trying to teach you guys over here. So I'm going to paste the shared drive directory. Say, for example, it was Kevin Partner because he's the one that requested it. Say, for example, he had a file in here. So we're going to put like Excel. We're going to open up Excel, for example. Give me a second. And I'm going to pretend that that file is in that location. So what we do is, I'm going to save as, copy, paste. It's not gonna let me do that. All right. All right, it's right here. All right, copy, paste. All right. So say for example, this is a shared drive directory, and the person wants person accidentally deleted this, right? They deleted this Excel file. You go back one directory, you right click on Kevin Partner, you hit properties, and you hit previous version. So obviously he's not gonna do it now, because it's just a one Excel file, but we do have backups of stuff. So usually you can go back to previous versions, and then you could open up the file directory and then add the file back. So that's what I would do with this ticket. So I will go back in time, I right click, hit previous versions, and then restore the file that they're asking for. And then you close the ticket after that. So you put a note on, you like File has been restored. Obviously, you email the user or the client, and you tell them that the file has been restored. And then that's it. And you close the ticket. All right, next ticket, Macavicus. Macavicus install. I need to run Macavicus Excel. It requires admin rights. So what you do is, let me see if I have it here. Should have a downloads. Should I have a download version of this? If I don't, I don't. That's fine. We're gonna pretend it's this computer. So we're gonna go into the web browser. Macavicus download. You know, obviously you get the right website. You don't get a fake looking website, you know. You download it. You need to figure out if it's the right version. So how do you do that? So this is for Excel. So we're gonna open up Excel, right? We're gonna go into the Excel sheet. We're gonna hit File. We're gonna hit Account. It says Office 365, right? About Excel. So we know this is 64-bit, we know this is 365. So we downloaded the wrong one. We gotta download this one actually. So we'll download this one. Because it says 365, 2019, 2016. All right, we're gonna open that up. Oh. Open it again. Run. You install it. Obviously, when you're doing this, you want to install it as an admin. So you might have to log off and log back in as yourself. You have to log off the user and log yourself in and install this for them. You know, you don't install it while they're on their computer. You might be able to get away with it. It might work, but sometimes it corrupts the computer. I don't recommend doing that. So then, like, obviously, if this is someone's computer, you hold Shift, right-click, and run as different user and install it on behalf of them. But I don't recommend that because sometimes it does cause a bunch of problems. Just letting you know. Excel. See, it's loading right now. You see Macavicus just shows up immediately. Now it's there. So that's it. And they have to activate with their email address. So yeah. So obviously, because this is an add-in for Excel, you want to get approval from the manager and make sure they're able to install it. You don't want to install things on the fly because you don't know if it's a vulnerability. So, you know, approved by manager. You want to make a note of it. Approved by manager. Macavicus has been installed. You on their computer. You pick a day and time to install it. Obviously, yada 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 yada, and you basically install it. You don't just install it on the fly. You get approval, and you get a day and time to do it. You know, basically, if that makes sense. All right, closing ticket. The next ticket, admin rights. All right, somebody needs admin rights on their computer. Give me a second. All right, here we go. I'm a software developer that started today. I need admin rights on my computer. Can you grant me admin rights? Same thing, same process. You go in and talk to your manager, talk to whoever's their manager, get approval for adding them to admin rights because you need approval for that. You can't just add someone to the local admin group. So, and then I'm going to do it right now. How do you do it? So we want, say for example, you want this person to be an admin, right? You type computer manager. So computer management, right? You right click on it. You do run as administrator. That won't do anything. Right? Why would that not do anything? It's because you're logged in as them. So you do open file location. Right? You hold shift and right click. You run as admin. You run as different user. You run as the admin. And then when you open it up, let's just pretend you open it up. Then you go into users and groups and you add them. So it's not going to work on this because this is a virtual machine of a server. Just for the sake of this video, I'll show you on my local computers. You type computer management. You open that up real quick. You go into groups you go into administrators, and then you add the person in the group. And you hit add, you put their name, hit OK, hit apply. And that's it. That's how you would do it. But obviously, you get approval for that. You don't just do it on the fly, if that makes sense. So then you put a note on it, like the other one. Let me go back. I don't know if this ticket is like it keeps going down for some reason. It's weird. I think it's messed up. All right, there we go. Admin rights has been granted. And then you put the attached email of approval, like if it's an Outlook email, and you add it in there, and you just add this note in there, and then you close the ticket, and that's it. Oh, that's why I was acting like my account has been suspended. Like my account is messed up. All right, that's fine. Totally fine. I have a meeting tomorrow. Can you install Zoom on my computer? So there's another request. So it's another install request. This is going on right now. So somebody wants Zoom on their computer. You need approval for that, obviously. So you get approved by the manager, the director, whoever it is, because you don't want to install things on the fly. I know that sounds like a regular install, but some companies might require approval if you're doing this. So you want to get approval first. Once you get an approval, you go into their, same thing. You go into the website. You download the real one, not the fake one. Zoom download. You go to the official Zoom website. You download the Zoom Center, and then they want Zoom, right? So we're gonna download Zoom right now. So you hit download. They might not be able to download it, so you have to download it on their behalf. And then once it's fully downloaded, you run as admin or you run as administrator, if that makes sense. So you open the show in folder, you hold shift and right click, and then you run as different users. You put your admin credentials and you install it. But obviously you get approval for it and you install it. And that's it. That's pretty much it. And you install it. So I let it install. If you don't run it as admin, it's going to say you don't have admin rights to install this. It's going to say blocked by group policy. It's going to say a bunch of crazy things on it. If you have to run as admin, because otherwise it just doesn't work when you try to install it. And that's it. That's fully installed. And that's it. That's how I would knock out some of these tickets. You saw how I did this ticket, the other tickets, it's just basic level ticketing stuff. If you want to see more videos on this, let me know. I'll make more videos on this, and I'll get a full account on this. I'll get a full account on server ticketing systems, and I'll keep making tickets about like different IT stuff, if that makes sense. So if you want to see more videos on this, let me know. As always, rate, comment, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope this video is helpful. I hope it helps you out in some shape or form if you're doing IT support or help desk. And I hope you have a great day and a wonderful Sunday, all right? Take care. Peace.